Now that you've edited your welcome episode, we need to add ID3 tags to your MP3 audio files. So this is going to go for all your episodes that you're going to upload to your podcast host platform. ID3 is a metadata container used to store information in an audio file, most often an MP3 file. It includes your title, author, description, year, album name, the album name, and even your album cover. If you've created separate album covers for each episode, like a graphic for each episode, you can upload that in there as well. You want to use this so that if your audio file is downloaded, it always has your information attached to it. This also helps for SEO purposes so that your files are found more easily on a Google search, for example. I personally use Stamp ID3 Tag Editor app to add the metadata to the MP3 files. I believe some audio editing software has the capability of adding it before you export it. Mine doesn't, at least I haven't found it, so I just use this. You do have to purchase it, but it's like a one-time purchase fee per computer. I've went ahead and linked to that in your workbook as well. If you want to purchase the same program, there are others out there, and you can also do it through your editing software, as I've mentioned. I just do it this way. I've always have. So this is how you're going to do it. You can use the same podcast cover you have for your show here, like I said. However, we do need to keep the data file small. So I would suggest you use the same artwork, but rather than using the 3000 by 3000 pixel size you used for your cover for Apple, I would use a 300 by 300. And the same goes for any, if you do custom graphics for each episode. So I'm going to walk you through how to add the ID3 tags, or at least to get you familiar with what it looks like. This is Stamp ID3 Tag Editor. So you're going to go and find the file that you want to edit. In this case, it's this one. This is my welcome episode, and you want to put your title here. So welcome to the Modern Latina in Midlife podcast. This is the title of my episode. Artist, it's going to be Sonia Flores. The album is the name of your podcast. Track, I'm going to call this 0, and your year goes here. And then I just kind of skip all of this. Then I go to add my image here. So I browse, go to Modern Latina, and add my cover here. And then this is where the comment is at. This is where your show notes go. So in this section, in your script flow, the interview flow that I gave you, if you write your notes in there, your show notes in there, and all the info with your links and resources, I would just copy that whole thing, the whole show notes area that goes to the podcast host or to your website. I would just put that whole show notes area here. And if you want to add a producer, if you want to add a copyright, all these other little things can be added, but not necessary. These are the key elements that need to be in here. Sometimes some of them will include like podcast on here. Mine doesn't have it, so I just don't use a genre or a category. I just leave it alone. And then once you do your show notes here, then you click stamp, and then your file will have, you could see up here that it added the title. If you know, when it gets when you look at it here listed in your file folders, you're going to see all those little elements that you just added are going to be attached to the file, to the audio file itself. So that's how you do that. All right, next module.